the cost of running a restaurant now is insane. The things that really kill the restaurant are the rent, the outgoings, the staff cost is insane, and all these things are keeping going up.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. If COVID didn't turn the hospitality world upside down, the current economic climate certainly is. But when there is adversity, there's often a way through. What does it take to ride the tougher times and thrive in better times? Fabio Dore is the owner of Sella Sardinian wine bar and restaurant in Randwick, Sydney. Fabio, how are you?
Very good, my friend. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. It's good to get you on the show. You've got a restaurant you opened in a crazy period of time when COVID landed. What's it been like since then?
Yeah, look, it was October 2020 when we opened the doors of Sella. It was just after the first COVID, and then when we opened, it was fantastic and very busy. The plaza where we are in Newmarket was full of people, saving up the streets all around the plaza. It was fantastic. And then COVID hit us again in, I think it was July 21. They have to close for a bit, or June 21. And then I restart reinventing of my restaurant again. We start to do all the food market outside with all this food that we have in kitchen, the fridges. Selling from fresh pasta, or all the sauces, all the ragu. And thank God, back in the days, my idea was to also have a wine shop or wine store attached to my restaurant. Because if COVID was coming back, at least we can still survive selling alcohol, and that's what we did. So that definitely saved my restaurant to not be closed now.
Well, you've made some recent changes, particularly with the name. Just tell us a little bit about the ideas behind that, and is the restaurant changed a little bit as well?
The restaurant didn't change so much in the lookout. I mean, few plants, there's a little bit of colors and a new, bit of the uniform. But after 3 years, I decided to go back to my roots, which is I'm from Sardinia. And my executive chef is from Sardinia as well. It was my other chef who owned the restaurant I had in Balmain in Rascals Bay. So I just say, look, we've done 3 years of Mediterranean wine bar. We're in Randwick. I think it's the time to move back where I did very well in Balmain, which was mainly a Sardinia restaurant. I took the chance to change Sella again. So now Sella is a full Sardinia restaurant with full Sardinian ingredients to the main course pretty much. So, using botarga everywhere, saffron, sausage, suckling pig. All the beautiful menu, the beautiful food there. When you go to Sardinia, is the diversities from the land to the sea, pretty much. That's the beautiful when you are in the islands. Around the coast, you have this fantastic fresh fish, lobster and prawns everywhere. And then as soon as you move in, it's quite dry, and so you have all lamb and suckling pig everywhere, pretty much.
Well, what's it like using Australian ingredients to create Sardinian food?
Well, look, it's actually not so hard, because in Australia we have probably one of the best products in the world. We go to the fish market and we met two different fish shop. They can find us the best vongole to make spaghetti vongole botarga, for example, or the prawns that we do in char grill. And then I have friends that have little farms in Barrows, other island, and they find me the suckling pig at the size that I want, which is between 6 to 8 kilo maximum. I have a Sardinian friends in Byron Bay that does all the Sardinian sausage, the salami in the same style of the Sardinian way, because he's from Sardinia too. So we are in Australia, but actually I feel like I'm nearly in Italy, Sardinia, because we have all these amazing products. There is people all around Italy now living in Australia, from La Stella making this fantastic burrata or buffalo mozzarella. You can really, really, really make a fantastic menu without not using not a single product coming from Italy. because we don't like to use the frozen stuff. So chef have more fun. Chef has a very good contact with, especially contact straight to the farmers if you want. And you have a fresh food literally every day.
Tell us a little bit about Sardinian food. I mean, food across Italy is different from region to region, but what sort of dishes on the menu that you have really stand out as a sort of champion Sardinian food?
Look, in Emenu at the moment, where I come from, this little village, there is a lot of farms of artichokes. And everybody thinks the artichokes away from Roman dishes, which is true. But even in Sardinia, we have a lot of artichoke when it's the season, and we do it in different way. We do, artichokes and potato soup, or just pickled artichokes, or char grilled artichokes. In Sella, my chef did this beautiful fried artichokes, and we serve with some potato and saffron puree, and then freshly grated botarga. So that is the three main ingredients of our little village where I come from in one dish. And then, of course, the stand-up of Sardinia dishes. So it's for me is the fregola. Fregola is a tiny pebble-shaped pasta that you can do in two different ways. I'm from the north of Sardinia, so we do the fregola in the same way as you do risotto. So you start in from the lobster, the prawn bisque, and then slowly you add your ingredient. In the Sella, at the moment, we do in the seafood version. In the south Sardinia, they use more like couscous, like in the soup. So you do like a fish soup with the clams, and then you add the tiny fregola pasta at the end. So that is for me is the flagship of Sardinia dish in one plate.
Amazing. Well, take us back to North Sardinia where you grew up. Tell us a little bit about the town you grew up in, and what sort of role did food play for you growing up?
Allora, look, I grew up always with my grandmother because my parents was leaving the house very early. And so I've been very lucky to grow up with my grandmother. She was an amazing cook. And probably I always say to my mom and to my kids, this is why I open a restaurant is the fault is to my grandmother, because she literally was pushing me to stay with her in the kitchen and making the bread, or when it was a biscotti time, we have to make the biscotti. The sauce from the morning, when you go and you find this pot with a boiling tomato and a beautiful meat inside, and you dip the bread and you burn your tongues. These kind of little things pushing me to be in hospitality. But also the other part of my family, we make wine and olive oil, and we have a small little tiny bar in the village where I grew up. So I literally, from when I was kids, I was always between vineyards or picking the olives, so make olive oil, and then go in the bar and serving coffee to the old people in the town. Back in the days when you make a coffee, you also have to put the sugar in the coffee of the customer even in front of you. There was only one beautiful sugar, silver pot sugar, and you put in the sugar in the coffee for them. There was no like now that you have the little sugar stick. Completely different. You're a little boy, 12 years old little boy with a little bow tie and a white shirt, and you're scared of the old man asking me for an espresso, and you shake him, putting the sugar in. That was back in the day, I was hospitality.
Tell us about sort of, that beginnings of your career in hospitality. Obviously, it started in your family, but did you feel like it was always going to be your future?
No, because I had in between, I did a bit of military service that in Italy you must do for my age. So I was away for 1.5 years up in Milan. Actually having a very good time away from the house, working in the vineyards and in the bar. I was actually having a very good time. And then from over there, I started traveling. And after I finished there, I decided to go to London with a couple of friends, and we started to work at Cipriani restaurant in London. So back again with old school white shirt, tie, massive aprons, everything done in the gueridon. You split the pasta in front of the customer, you clean the beautiful fish. Everything was done in the gueridon, even the dessert, you cook in the flambe dessert. It was not like now, not everything is ready for the kitchen. Before, every single dishes were must be finished in the floor, so it was like a theater, and that's where I really get so passionate and so in love with this theater, and this talking with the customer once you still cleaning the fish, making this final product, and make sure you look pretty. And yeah, then after that, with the same friends, we say, "How about now we go to Australia?" I don't even know when it was Australia. The first time I knew about Australia is when I did the test for the policeman. There was always a question which one was the capital of Australia, and I was keeping putting Sydney when it actually was Canberra. So, that was 20 years ago. And then we could the same friends. I said, "Let's go." I said to our mom, "No worries. I just go for 6 months, short season, and I'll be back for the summer." After, after that was not 6 months. It was 20 years. It was three restaurants, 2 kids. So that's how fast.
What was Australia like when you landed here? Were you surprised by Australia and the dining culture?
Yeah, a little bit. Look, 2004 Sydney was fantastic. I mean, I arrived after 3 days. I already had a job. My first job was in Double Bay Street. After 3 days, I was already there in the floor. The floor was full of Italian stuff. I feel like I was not even in Australia. I mean, from the front of the restaurant to the back, it was all different section, and there was all these amazing friends. They all work in hospitality, and then they just always all introduced me to Sydney. Take me to the pub, take me to the TAB, just to introduce me to Australian culture straight away. Back on it was beautiful nightlife. King Cross was pumping. We used to go to Yugos every Sunday night until 3 a.m. in the morning. Not like now. I had a lot of good time. The rent was cheap. I was paying $350 a week for 2-bedroom apartment in Ports Point, by myself. Not now. So I had a lot of good time with all these friends in Double Bay. And then I moved to Fratelli Paradiso in Potts Point. And then when I really start to, and know so many people in the industry, and I have this challenge. I say, if all these people did open a small restaurant, or I think I can do as well. So I started to write a business plan for my first restaurant, just like that, in the day off, until I finish it, and I show to some kind of silent partner or some customer. They had a bit of money, they want to invest with me, until I find the first one. And then that's where we opened our first restaurant in Rascals Bay, to be called Popolo. That was a super fantastic restaurant. It was so successful. It was really, really probably the best restaurant we opened, I would say, back in the days, 2012.
What was it like opening your first restaurant?
I was only 30 years old. I lost 7 kilos in the first month. I was so skinny. I was working 80 to 90 hours inside the restaurant, but I was never tired. I just went to bed, and the next morning I was just thinking, I want to go back to the restaurant. I want to open doors, and I want to make these people happy. We was doing, we cut Italy in two when we opened the first restaurant. We was only cooking from the south of Rome to Sardinia and the south out of Italy. And with the same with the wine. So what the concept was, only cook was on the south of Italy, and only drink was south of Italy, and that's why it was so successful. We had the pizza oven, so the prawns was cooking in the pizza oven, and bread, fresh pastas. Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was a wonderful restaurant. Was there any sort of standout dishes that you look back fondly at from your time with Popolo?
But the prawns or the Sardinian sausage was cooking inside the oven back on the days in the pizza oven, and it was coming up in a hot pot straight to the table. That was one of their lights. We used to serve also all the pastas in a ramen pot in the table. Again, back to the idea that the waiter should finish the dish in the table and not the chef. And then we have this beautiful U-shaped bar. Was cutting the prosciutto in the bar, serving to the customer. It was very nice, old school, but very successful place. Yep. But as everything in the life, you do something amazing, but then something happened and it's time to move on. So after 3 years, I decided to sell my share and open another restaurant in Balmain. So
Yeah, you opened One Ford Street in Balmain, which was amazingly successful. Tell us a little bit about that restaurant and what you're doing there.
yeah, that was quite different. I went to Balmain just as a consultant and ended up to own the place at the end. So my idea, they called me just to help them to set up the restaurant, make sure they run properly. And then I just went in love with the area of Balmain and with the space. The space was behind the pub, so you have this little secret entrance on the One Food Street. And when you come inside, you feel like it was my grandmother, my family garden. Okay, so there was all these plants hanging there. And again, we did very well there as well. Just cooking rustic Italian cuisine, peasant as I am, with the 3 beautiful ingredients per dishes, and respect all of the plates without mucking around too much. That is the secret at the end of the day. Bring back some memories, some recipe from the family, put it nicely in the plate. We're using Australian product.
Was the clientele a bit different in Balmain to Rushcutters Bay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of my family in Balmain are also very friendly people. I still remember after 3 days I opened One Food Street. I was just walking in the main street to find a coffee place, and then the people stop me in the street, introduce themselves, say, you're Fabio, the new owner, blah, blah, come, we invite you for a coffee. So friendly, so welcoming. I was like, no, that's gonna be my place. I stayed there for 5 years. Thanks to that, now in Randwick, I still have a lot of people from Balmain come to see me every weekend.
Why did you let go of the restaurant?
Because it's never going to be my 100%. You're inside the pub, and you need to cook for the pub as well. The pub is different. I love it, but if I wasn't on a leader place, maybe without a pub, I will definitely stay Balmain. Hey, we never know. Maybe I come back because my goal one day is actually to go back there and reopen One Food Street in Balmain. That would be nice. I think but we never know. Now we need to push Sella to be in the right place, and to make people around the eastern suburbs happy, and try to find my lifestyle back too.
You mentioned family recipes. Is there a couple that you can tell us about from the family that have ended up on menus in your restaurant?
Well, look, my chef is from the village attached to my one. The family has a cheesemaker, and my one is a winemaker. So most of the times we share the same recipe, we share the same similar food, and it's the best marriage so far. So I really leave Stefano to create something without disturbing too much. We did the menu, we sit down, we tasted them. And when I close my eyes, really remember what also my family was making, which is simple, like for example, the pasta that we call malloredus is a traditional Sardinian gnocchi made with a semolina flour. He put a bit of twist and he put some saffron in the flour and the water, so the pasta looked a little bit more yellow. But the ragu is literally made by pork sausage, pork and fennel sausage. When you get a pork fennel sausage, you take it off the skin and you use all the meat, slow cook, with the sofrito, and add in the Sardinian peeled tomato. So we also use we import our Sardinia tomato in the tin to use the sauce, because they are sweet and they are completely different of other tomato the rest of Italy. Okay. So that is the little secret that make our ragu with the sausage, pork and fennel, and saffron and pecorino, Sardinia pecorino must use. So I will say that dish is the dish I can eat every day. If it doesn't matter if I'm not hungry or not, a bowl of the malloreddus with the pork sausage ragu, I will never say no for me. Yep, yep.
Tell us about finding the location for Sella. Was Randwick a suburb that you were looking to be in, or how did you find the location?
But this is another casualty. I think I took my wife for a visit in the hospital, because we just opposite the women hospital when my kids born. And back in the days when my kids was born, she was all about the stables. But because I'm very good contact with the real estate agent, long time ago, they emailed me that there was gonna be a site there. So we just went to have a look, and I saw this beautiful spot on the corner, facing the park, facing this amazing playground, and I just see my wife sitting there with a computer, working, for example, and just have a nice glass of wine once my kids was playing. And I say, if you can she do that, all the moms can be there, can do that too. And then there was a space with a kind of two entries, because I needed one for the bottle shop and the one for the restaurant. So it was kind of perfect. So there was the face of this real estate agent in the windows. So I called my silent partner, which is Damien Cooley from Cooley Auction, and I said, "Do you know this guy?" And he said to me, "This guy was yesterday in my house having dinner with my kids." So we called him, and then the next day he gave me the keys of the place without even blink. So I said, "Oh, fuck, now I'm in trouble. Now I really need to open this place." I didn't expect they was so fast with the keys of this place. I said, "No." And once they give you the keys, I said, "Man, you better hurry up. The business plan is there, but you need to find a builder, and to find a proper builder, you have to have a 3-4 quote. They need to find the guy for the kitchen. They need to find the team." And I was shitting myself. And I said, "All right, let's start." So we start to build, I think it was in June 2020 in June. We opened the doors end of October 2020. So fast and furious, in and out, boom.
What's been some of the things and adaptations that you've had to make over the last couple of years to sort of get the restaurant to where it is at the moment?
Yeah, look, when I opened Sella, my idea was always to go away from the big restaurant and to make just tiny, beautiful, small wine bar where I can have my 400 plus wines, and the food was created based on the wine. So, usually you have the chef, you do the menu, and the sommelier does the wine. Here was vice versa when I opened, so I want to have a lot of wines, tons of wines, and a bit of food around. It's like when you go in Rome, do you find this beautiful enoteca? You go there to buy a wine, and they end up to stay because there's someone slicing prosciutto. You can smell there's a bit of pasta from the oven coming up. So that was my first idea. And then slowly I have to change it because I didn't know Randwick demographic so much, so I have to change it. I see the people actually thinking more as a restaurant. So, we change the menu, we make more welcome to family as well. We open all day, you can come 4 p.m., 3 p.m., it doesn't matter. You can come for a glass of wine and a couple of oysters, or you can come for a bowl of pasta, sit in the bar, have a chat with me and just go home with a bottle of wine from the wine store. So you need to change it. You need to understand your demographic. You need to be open mind. You can't just cook fine dining, this and that. You need to see what's your main customer, and that's why slowly we change. And now we are a full Sardinian restaurant with a more generous dishes and more affordable prices. Simple flavor that everybody understand, and then we good. Now the restaurant is full and people love it. They hug me before they go home, for just, as I say, for just simple, beautiful bowl of pasta. They just explain to you.
We've seen many restaurants closing in the last couple of months, and a really tough period of time for hospitality in this economic climate. Tell us about where you're at and how you see things.
Look, it is quite scary because some of them are my friends as well, and unfortunately, it is only because the cost of running a restaurant now is insane. And when I open my first restaurant, you can easily have a 10 to 12% of profit back. Now the restaurant maybe have between 6 to 8 or 9. I don't know if you're good, but the things that really kill the restaurant are the rent, the outgoings, the staff cost is insane, and all these things are keeping going up. I'm in a meeting with my landlord all the time just to explain it, that you can't just keep going up this rent. And the people are not going out to going out less. The people just having a bowl of pasta salad and a glass of wine before they having a 3 course and a bottle of wine. We have to make some special. We have to make 2 course special. We make in Tuesday bottle shop price instead of full one list price to attract people. Before, when you open a restaurant, was just you do your menu, you open the doors, people come in. Now it's a fighting. You are in the survival mood. You just need to work. Most of the times, I only work with one staff to really save the staff cost. And it is scary over there at the moment, because if you make a little mistake, the next minute you need to pay big invoices, and plus the tax, plus all these kind of things, you end up to close. That's what happened.
Does the increased costs that you're experiencing at the moment across the board, including food costs as well, have gone up? Is that affecting sort of your vision and what you're representing in regards to Sardinian cuisine?
But a little bit, but Sardinia cuisine, depends what you want to make. Of course, if you focus your menu on seafood, it's gonna be very expensive. So you need to always try to work with more veggies. Instead to buy a expensive Sancli pig, you buy a whole pig, and then from part of the pig you make the ragu, and then for the other part of the pig you do some entree, and for the other part of the pig you do the main course. So you use all animal instead to be selecting on the species part. You need to have a very clever chef to understand what's going on. You need to make the menu with the less ingredients, but pretty and tasty.
You're trying all of these various things to keep on top of costs and keep things going. But what would help externally to your business? From a government perspective or from a customer perspective?
With the government, I mean, if you think about it, yes, we pay a lot of tax, but there is no like in Italy or another part of Europe that you pay even 21% of GST. I mean, still. I think that the main cost of a restaurant, the gas and electricity are also going up a lot. But if you have a big rent, that is the main scary things. The landlord need to be less greedy if they want us to survive. That's where all the government need to put a cap on the rent, because it's insane. It's the same place of before, and keeping going up, and and people go less out. So for me, it's mainly really try to have a good landlord that understand the situations more than the government.
You've had some amazing success with all of your venues. What sort of advice would you have for operators out there that are looking to do that sort of small, intimate, personal venue?
Look, can be good or can be not. But when in all my place, I work and I try to show my place. They are like more my house than on my restaurant. So my goals is always when the customer come to my place, they feel like I'm at home. They feel like they're my guest, They're not just customers, they're paying the bills. I'm so sick that every time you need to book a restaurant, you need to leave credit card, you need to leave deposit. By the time you book your table, you're already tired, and I always, I'm probably most of the set I will be against me, but because there's some people that don't show up to the booking, and that's not nice. But we call hospitality. Hospitality means welcoming to our place. We're gonna look after you for the night. We wanna make sure that you're gonna feel well, eat well, drink well, go home satisfied. The restaurant for me they're like a theater. You come to see a bit of show for the chef and for the floor staff. We want to make you laugh. We want to make you eat properly. We want to make you happy, and of course you need to read the table, you need to read your customer. Some customers they're just gonna go out for a dinner, they don't want to talk with any waiter or me, blah blah. They just want to be by themselves. But some customers they also want to have fun and they want to hear our story. They want to do why we do this, why do we do that. We look after them. You change the plate a million times, change the cutlery, top up the water. Give something complimentary in the house, or give half glass of wine, explaining why this wine go well with this food or not. That's my type of service. It's the contact that touching you in the back, hug you if I can. It's like mainly feeling, hey, this is my house. It's not my restaurant. Treat you're you're my house, you're my restaurant, you're my guest. Do whatever you want. Be respectful of my staff, of course, and then everybody's happy. Then, if you cross the other line, then that's a problem.
You mentioned that you said to your family you're only going to come to Australia for 6 months, and yet it's been 2 decades now. What do they back home? What do they think about what you've created here?
Look, my mom came here only once, and she's proud of me. My father is very proud, but he's never gonna tell me because he's tough man. And my father doesn't even fly, doesn't even get out of the village. I know that he's proud of what I did, but we're far away. Unfortunately, I wish Australia was much closer to Europe. And I miss Europe. Sometimes I think, I love to come back. And we're getting older at the same time. When you're in Europe, you just grab a flight, 2 hour flight, you're in Paris, 2 hour flight, you're in Barcelona, eating amazing food. Here in Chihuahua, we don't even ride to Kirribilli, if it's high traffic, to Newcastle. So definitely miss there. But my family have been important there. I have 2 beautiful kids, and lifestyle is good in Australia. Look, today it's a beautiful sunny day. I went for a little run this morning close to the beach. I have some beautiful energy before I start to talk to you. And we look after much ourselves here. I think sometimes in Italy, but definitely the high level of stress in this town in Sydney and for my job is so high that if you don't look after yourself, man, you don't survive. You really need to look after yourself in terms of fitness, and make sure you have enough time for yourself as well, because otherwise you're just gonna be inside this bottle and someone's just shaking this bottle and you just don't understand anything what's going on.
Well, you continue to deliver such amazing restaurants in Sydney, such personal ones as well. What do you love about what you do?
But as I say to my friends when they keep asking me, how can you just work so much at the times? I said to them, look, if in the morning I wake up, I don't want to go into my restaurant anymore, that's the time for me that maybe I should just do something else. But at the moment I wake up in the morning and I'm just looking forward to go to my place. I'll open my place by myself, slowly. I take my time. I have my coffee. I make the coffee for the chefs. I see the produce come inside. I check the produce with my chef. I eat half carrots or grab something and make my chef upset a little bit. He's making the sauce. I do the same things that I was doing with my grandmother. When she was making the sauce, my chef was making the sauce, I grab a fresh bread and I dip the bread in the tomato sauce, and I still burning my tongue most of the times, and I still get out, and still the chef kick me out of the kitchen after 1 hour and he say, go for a run, go away please. So until I have all this energy in me, until I have this love about food and wine, I love tasting wine. I taste probably 100 wines a week, because you never stop learning. there is so many different varieties everywhere. Yes, we are Sardinian restaurant, but we still have some Assyrtiko for Santorini. We still have some beautiful Albarino from Ria Baja, but the glass. They will never stop me to really have interesting varieties and not just a boring Pinot Grigio in my place.
Well, Fabio, absolute honour to have you on Deep in the Weeds today, and look forward to seeing Sella have further success as well. Please keep in touch, and we'll catch up again soon.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for your call. Really appreciate.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the lives of the incredible people who ply their trade in the food and hospitality sector. Special thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Follow us on Instagram at Deep in the Weeds Podcast, or email us at podcast@deepintheweeds.com.au. Stay safe and be well.